Welcome back guys to Tabletop Assault. I'm Ross and today we're going to continue our sort of examination of units within the Adeptus Mechanicus Codex. Today I'm going to be looking at Servitors. Never used them, and for reasons. I have to say these are the guys who I think are probably the strongest contenders for weakest unit in the Codex. You can obviously let me know in the comments if I'm wrong about that, but I'll look at them in detail to sort of describe why I'm of that opinion. How this analysis works is I'm going to have a look at their stat line, I'll have a look at the various weapon options that they do have, and then I'll have a look at their special rules along with ways I would look at their strengths and weaknesses, along with Forge World rules that I would recommend, and also stratagems that might work with them as well. So with that, let's have a look at their stat line. They've got a movement of 5, so they're pretty slow, not terrible, but they are a slow moving unit. They've got a weapon skill of 5+, so they're not going to hit reliably. They've got a ballistic skill of 5+, so they're not going to hit reliably in ranged either. They have a strength of 3, so they're not very strong. They have a toughness of 3, so they're not very tough. They have a single wound, so they'll die instantly as soon as they suffer that. They have 1 attack, so they're not going to do much in attacking either. They're a leadership 6, so they might run away, but they do have a 4+ save, so they might survive some shots on them as well. The weapon options they do have for them is they can have they've each armed with Servo Arm, no question, unfortunately. They can take they may replace their Servo Arm. Up to 2 models may replace Servo Arm with Heavy Bolter, Plasma Cannon, or Multi-Melta. Now the unit has to have 4 in it, so you are going to have 2 with Servo Arms, and 2 will more than certainly take one of the sort of special weapons it can take. So we're going to go with Heavy Bolter, which is 36 range, Heavy 3, Strength 5, -1 AP, Damage 1. You can take a Multi-Melta, which is range 24, Heavy 1, Strength 8, -4 AP, D6 damage. If the target is within range of this if the target is within half range of this weapon, roll 2 dice when inflicting damage with it and discard the lowest result. Plasma Cannon, when attacking with this weapon, choose one of the profiles below. Standard, 36-inch range, Heavy D3, Strength 7, -3 AP, 1 damage. Or you can supercharge it, as we all know you can do with Plasma. Heavy D3, it becomes Strength 8, -3 AP, and 2 damage piece. But of course, if you roll any rolls of 1 to hit, the bearer is slain after all the weapon shots have been resolved. Last but not least, we should talk about the Servo Arm. It's a melee weapon. It is ×2 strength, so it makes him strength 6, -2 AP, so it does take a wee bit of armour off, and it causes a flat 3 damage, which is surprisingly not bad. However, each Servo Arm can only be used to make 1 attack. It's alright, because they've only got 1 attack. And when a model attacks with this weapon, you must subtract 1 from their hit roll, essentially making them 6s to hit. They do have rules to mainly mitigate that, but wow, Servo Arm, no ideal. They all have Canticles of Messiah, which is thankful because you need to have everything in a detachment to benefit from that rule. And they have Mind Lock as well, where Servitors improve both their weapon skill and ballistic skill to 4+, and their leadership to 9, while they're within 6 inches of a friendly tech priest. So very essential that you have a tech priest to go along with these guys, because you want to get their, and their leadership goes up to 9, so leadership goes up quite heavily as well. But you need to make sure a tech priest is with these guys if you do plan to use them, because that extra weapon skill and ballistic skill, mainly the ballistic skill, is pretty essential. So yeah, I'm going to have a look at my sort of analysis of these guys. So I'm pretty sure they're the strongest contender for weakest unit in the Codex. Very poor stats, they take expensive guns on them, and 2 of them are going to have an expensive melee weapon as well. So you've got 2 of them I think have got quite an impressive gun, but they don't have very good shooting capabilities themselves. And 2 are going to have the Servo Arms. Certainly if they do take wounds, you're going to remove the Servo Arms immediately, more or less, unless there's certain situations that is not the case. If they didn't have to have the servo arms at all, I'd probably say that it'd actually be not bad because they're super cheap themselves. I think they're only like, I won't say points exactly, but they're super cheap and then you just dump a weapon on them. But it does mean that you will have to take a tech priest, ideally Call or a Dominus nearby them so that they can get reroll hits as well. So they can maybe put out a steady amount of shots. I would personally go with the Heavy Bolter because the Bliss skill 4 and rerolling hits or ones when you are with a tech priest or all of them with Call does mean you're going to put out a heavy amount of Heavy Bolter shots. You can go Plasma Cannon as well if you want to take a risk. I wouldn't mind if one of them died, but it does mean you can put out plasma shots and multi-melta. Yeah, sure, why not, if you want. Ultimately, each servo arm you do purchase is a tax, and not a cheap tax at that either, making the unit just that wee bit more expensive than I'd like them to be. You're paying low cost to get your weapon, but then you have to take the servo arm as well. It's just not ideal. Basically being fired, this is a low point, heavy weapon being fired from a model with 1 wound, low toughness, mediocre save, and a bad ballistic skill, which can be improved, but you need to take an HQ with them as well. It's just not ideal. I mean, even the servo arm itself, great, it does, make your strength 6, it's going to be -2 AP and a solid 3 damage, but -1 to hit really just damages that as well. You're taking half with heavy weapons, half with close combat capabilities. If they could all be firing heavy weapons and remove the servo arm, I'd say there'd be a viable option there. But just that split between them, I'm struggling here. I'm struggling to justify this unit. To be fair, please tell me in the comments section if you find that they are actually pretty good. Surprise me, let me know other viewers know strategies on that one. However, I have to continue my format of which I do these, and so I'm going to recommend to you now some Forge World rules and some stratagems to go with them as well. So Forge World rules, Mars is always quite ideal for them, just basically because you get the 2 canonical abilities for them, one of which you always want Trelsan, because armies other than Fulgurate Electro Priests or Corpuscari ones, everyone loves to have a cover special rule, and Benediction of the Omnissiah, so you can make those rerolls if you don't have a Dominus nearby. However, even then, to make them get the +1 ballistic skill and weapon skill and their leadership boost, you're pretty much always going to have a tech priest of some sort, ideally not an engine seer nearby them as well. But engine seer is not bad. I'd much rather have the rerolls, and certainly if you have Benediction, engine seer is possible. The only other ones I see that might be useful is Staggus 8, just obviously to mitigate your opponent's shooting because it's -1 to hit them, and because they are mainly going to be shooting, then Staggus 8 is going to help there to keep their survivability up. Riser is an option as well for their stratagem if you're using Plasma, but the Dogma offers little to, in general. It's just if you've got Plasma, yeah, okay, it can help, their stratagem will help. So speaking of that stratagem, this is the only stratagem I can really see that they're going to benefit from extensively. I'm truly struggling to justify Servitors. Plasma Specialists with Riser, if you take Plasma Cans, makes their wound rolls more reliable and increases their damage as well. And seeing you always have a Tech Priest, ideally Dominus nearby, you should be rerolling their ones to hit as well. But geez, that's still at a push. Let me sort of just summarise how I look at these guys. If you're going down the Heavy Bolter route, cool. Vanguard Rangers will do a similar amount of sort of what they plan to do for similar points. You can take even arc rifles with them as well, or plasma calvers to be more damaging, and you'll put out similar amount of shots more accurately on a better unit. And destroyers, essentially, if you are going down sort of heavy bolters, destroyers do it better with grav, albeit a lot more expensive. If you're going to go down plasma, then I'd probably go with Vanguard with plasma calvers over these guys because their plasma is better, and I think there's stratagems that they benefit from that Servitors don't. Or destroyers with grav, because destroyers with grav will eliminate most sort of troops, heavier troops as well. And if you're going down with the multi-metal route, just take a dune crawler with neutron laser. Simple as that. It may not be as point effective, but it certainly is going to be surviving longer and doing more consistent shots as well. So that's it for Servitors. Pretty short and harsh examination on them. Please comment and let me know if I am wrong. I wish I am. I'm going to struggle to say I might not be, but please let me know if you find that Servitors are actually pretty good for their rules. If you had any epic moments with them, let me know. I'm sure me and other viewers would like to see. So thanks again guys for watching. Please check us out on social media where we put up a bunch of our sort of projects we're working on, any sort of community posts that are going on, and general humour as well. So thanks again, and please comment, share, like and subscribe, and we'll see you on another Tabletop Assault Battle Report.